It's that time of year where it's open enrollment for a lot of folks for health insurance. And I just saw a long video about somebody compiled a lot of TikTokers talking about how they're potentially not going to go with health insurance this year. People are struggling. It's also the time of year where people are looking at their property tax bills for the next year if they're fortunate enough to own property. Some people are getting their homeowners insurance renewals. And when you combine all those things, people are just not, they don't have enough, they don't have the patience they used to have with these little names we will call each other, like racist, for example. I'm glad the sting has come out of that word quite a bit, to some extent. Even fantasizing about offing somebody is not a big deal. You can apparently become elected as Attorney General for the state of Virginia by doing that. That person is now going to be the top cop in the state next to the governor herself, the governor-elect herself. And that person can get elected. So you can be a cretin and still get elected to that job. There's one last word, though, that is in the ether that sometimes if you get called it could ruin your life. But again, because people are so looking at their own issues, their financial issues, they're even that word is losing some of its sting. And rather than me getting into it, I thought I'd share this video by JP Sears, who addresses it in a funny way, in a way that better than a way that I would do. So let's take a look at that. Listen to and watch this.
Hey, dude. Do you support Israel?
Yeah, sure.
At all costs, above everything else?
No matter what.
Well, that seems kind of absurd, like writing a blank check of support. Well, do you? Well, no, I guess not to that level. I mean,
I do have some questions about the Israeli government.
You're an anti-Semite. Oh, that's what we're doing here. How long have you hated Jews?
Well, I don't, but how much have you been listening to Ben Shapiro lately?
Well, believe it or not, quite a bit lately.
I could tell.
I'm going to give you one last chance.
I want you to denounce Tucker Carlson right now, or else
you're an anti-Semite.
I love Tucker.
Tucker is a MAGA. Ah, that's cute. And Ben Shapiro, who openly supported Ron DeSantis over Trump, he's somehow MAGA? I don't know about that, but Tucker's not MAGA.
Well, and using woke tactics to try to cancel people also isn't MAGA.
Woke tactics? I'm a conservative, bro. I have a camo hat on. I don't use woke tactics.
As an American, you're pro-Israel above everything else, right?
Yeah, they're a great ally.
Yeah, insert great ally rhetoric there. I get it.
But what you're doing is using a one-word label, anti-Semite, to smear a person's entire character into being a hateful person in order to intimidate them into agreeing with you, or if they continue disagreeing with them, discredit that person.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's a woke tactic.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a conservative.
What would you call a person who tells you you're a racist when you question DEI race-based hiring practices?
Yeah, they're woke idiots.
And what about someone who calls you a killer because you refuse to get jabbed?
Woke idiot.
And someone who calls you a transphobe because you don't support men in dresses reading to children?
Woke idiot.
And someone who calls you a Putin sympathizer because you didn't stand with Ukraine?
Another woke idiot.
And someone who calls you an anti-Semite for being America first?
Woke idiot.
Wait, no. You. Same tactic. It's out of the woke playbook, isn't it? No, what I'm doing is definitely not the same. But you, my friend, because you are literally hating Jewish people because you're skeptical of Israel. Yeah, there's kind of an extinction between devious government activity and the people of that country. And to shut down any criticism of that country through an accusation of hating its citizens kind of makes free-thinking people even more skeptical of that government. It almost makes people think that that devious government is behind the cancel culture campaign out to destroy people that criticize that government. What is there to be skeptical about the Israeli government? They've been a great ally. Ally, yeah, I know you're talking points, but gosh, it's really hard to think of anything. But there is that whole Epstein ring thing and how that could have been orchestrated by Israeli intelligence for the purpose of gathering blackmail. And there's the International Criminal Court that currently has an arrest warrant out for Netanyahu for war crimes and crimes against humanity. I'm curious what's going on there. Just genocide accusations are kind of a big thing. And then there's the whole Israeli foreign influence over the minds of Americans by funding influencers, media outlets, and major politicians. I mean, that's kind of a big concern. Like, just imagine if that was China doing that, not Israel. It's a national security threat. And then you can get into the Rothschilds and how they... So you're saying you hate Jewish people? Is that what I'm saying? You think Jews have taken over the whole world, don't you? No. But it really seems like the Israeli government's trying to take over the Conservative Party in America right now. No, I think I would notice if that was happening. I think your alarm's going off. Oh, I didn't notice. Shapiro's got a new video coming out. He'll be speaking to a conservative audience that spent the last 5 years strongly refusing to comply with intimidation tactics. And he'll be trying to intimidate them into joining the pro-Israel side of the Conservative Party. I think it's gonna be successful. You enjoy that. I'm gonna go watch Tucker Carlson interview Candace Owens and Ian Carroll. I literally hate you. Why? Because you're a hateful person. Doesn't that make you the hateful person? You just admitted hate, and I don't feel hate towards anyone. You hate me because I'm Jewish, don't you? Well, you're not Jewish, so how could that be? Well, I don't know, but I'll get back to you after I watch Ben Shapiro a little bit more. Great. I'll be looking forward to you telling me how I think and feel. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic right now, or me either.
Well, that was interesting. I saw it. I laughed when I first saw it. He addresses it very well, and I'm glad it's being addressed. I see a lot of Gen Z folks and millennials at the TPUSA events asking similar questions and connecting some dots. I'm glad it's the Overton window's being moved, because this kind of conversation without the political slant happens also within Christian churches. There's some back and forth about that, and I wish we could get to the bottom of that. Tucker talks about it. He had some back and forth between himself and Ted Cruz on where the Christians should stand on Israel. But again, I think people are going through enough struggle, and they're asking themselves, why is life the way it is now? And they don't care about the name that you're calling them. They just want to be able to afford food, afford gas, afford insurance, medical care if something happens to them, automobile repair if something happens to them, transportation in general. I saw, again, in the past couple of weeks, the average new car transaction is $50,000 now. That's obscene when you consider the median income for a household is 80-something thousand, 84,000, I believe. We've heard it said that facts don't care about your feelings. I think the facts of people struggling, they no longer care about the names that you're going to call them. You don't get fired anymore for being accused of being racist. I don't think it even makes the news anymore. But it could happen if you get called the name that JP Sears was talking there. I get the feeling it's going to happen less and less as Gen Z becomes more decision makers in the future, if they get to that point, if they're allowed to. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye-bye.